Hello, I'm David, and this is my response to the mental health TED Talk. So she starts out with the story from when she was a child. She had a really bad toothache and compared it to a hot needle being pushed into her tooth. And so she tells her parents, and she goes to the doctor, problem solved. That really formed her understanding of when you are in pain, your loved ones and the doctor will take care of you. So then there's this other case with her friend. She had a similar pain, but it was throughout her whole body, in her brain. She was dealing with depression. She did not get the same treatment. It took 5 months for a doctor to tell her what you have is real. Then she asks, what's the difference between the two situations? And I want to answer that. We've had this shared perspective for a long time that your body is your body and your mind is you. If your body is hurting, people will tell you you have a problem with your body. But if your mind is hurting, people will tell you there's a problem with you. It's a very unfortunate perspective that society has formed. You would never tell someone with a broken arm that there's a fundamental problem with you as a person. But we do that with mental disorders. We say there's a problem with you. The other difference is that it isn't something that we can see. I mean, a broken arm you can see. If a bone's sticking out, no one's going to tell you that your arm isn't broken. So we need to solve these two problems. How do we get people to stop seeing mental disorders as a flaw with the person rather than this is something that the person has? This is not who you are. And the other problem, how do we make people see this for what it is? How do we get people to take it seriously? I have found that it really helps to know people who deal with this. We have so many people that act like someone's problem is imaginary until they meet someone who actually struggles with it, or if they have to deal with it themselves. We need to talk to people. We need to want to understand. A lot of us don't want to understand, and you can't understand if you don't want to. Going back to the idea of your body is your body, but your mind is you, a lot of us think we're basically all the same mentally. So we'll say, well, I'm not experiencing it, so it must just be imaginary. Or they'll say, yeah, I get sad sometimes too, but I get over it. We need to start listening to each other. Here's my personal belief about mental health. Because when people do say, yeah, I get sad sometimes too, that's a really cruel thing to say to someone, but it's not entirely untrue. What I won't say is that everyone has the power within them to overcome mental health on their own. I don't think that's true. But I will say I do believe it's something you can feed. Some people deal with it better than others, and some people don't know how to deal with it. If it wasn't something you could feed, then it would just keep getting worse and worse, or at best, you'd stay as you are. There would be no improvement. Here's an example of what I mean and why it's really important to talk about it. I have a friend who struggles with depression. He has said things like, I don't think I'm actually smart, and no girls want to be with me. And I told him, hey, these things that you say about yourself are simply untrue. You're an engineer student at the top of your class, and you've been in more relationships than I have. And I told him, you're believing lies about yourself. And I strongly believe nothing can force you to believe a lie about yourself. You choose to believe lies. Now, you can absolutely struggle with depression and these thoughts that try to tell you who you are. I won't deny one bit, that's a very real struggle, and it's not something anyone can deal with alone. I think self-pity is a great thing. We need people talking. People who need help need to be talking to people. Suicide is a horrible thing, and it truly does break my heart. To conclude, Nora Bloom was right. I really think something fundamental needs to change so we can take mental health seriously.